Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, Styx, Renegade, from their wonderful album Pieces of Eight. Got a lot of this from watching them live. I'll put a link to the video. They really kind of focus on Tommy, but when they go to the solo, they do show Mr. James Young playing the solo. Very memorable melodic solo. Lots of great licks in there. We are in standard tuning. I've written this out, so my notes right below. Click on that link. You can download the PDF. And I wrote this out for you. It's all noted. Sometimes I bold numbers just so they stick out so you recognize it. If there's anything different like palm muting, I will highlight that and link what it is. P.S. I did, during my little quick break, I did look up the Styx Live is at the Venetian Theater in Las Vegas. So I'll have a link below too, so you can really get a good feel. The rhythm, James is primarily doing the double stops during the rhythm, and Tommy's just playing chords, which you'll see. We're going to focus on these double stops, which start out the song, and Tommy does play. So what we do is slide in from about 15, and then we're going to focus on double stops with F to G on the 5th and 4th string, okay? And then we're going to reference a B flat to C, all right, on the 3rd and 4th string. What I like to do, and the way I wrote it out, is rather than go to this G, I use the open G. It just seems a little more in with the recording. Versus, you know, they're both the same. It's really your preference. Live, Tommy does both. So does JT or JY. So. Really what you want to do. So really it's F to G and then our B flat to C. Alright, that will be one time. The second time we'll hammer in our B flat to C. Alright, so we have this so far. It does make a difference. It's the timing and feel. So the third time we're going to actually hit 5 twice and go back to 3. So there's no hammer on there, and the next one there's no hammer on. The next one there is. So it's kind of a back and forth. All right, up to that point. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the last one will be a repeat of the 2 5s back to 3 with the C. Then we go into a down, up, down on a D, and then a C. Then we come back in with no hammer on. Alright, the next one is a hammer on. Now the next one, so we're going to hammer into D again, I'm sorry, C, but then we're going to slide up, rather than hit C again, or back to a B flat, we're going to go up to F. So he's going up here to the 10th fret on the 4th and 3rd string, referencing an F chord. And that is the intro. All right, out of that we are into verse 1. Okay, for the verse now, what we do is double stops again. You'll see Tommy in the video because they kind of focus on him during the verses. He's just strumming F, kind of following the bass, C, and then walking up E, F, F sharp to G. Anyhow, James Young is playing more of a motif with double stops, all right, that's following the keyboard's melody. So we'll follow that. We're going to start out with just a 6th string hit on the 3rd fret, just this G note, and then we go 3 to 2 to open on the 4th and 3rd string. That's primarily what these will be on. You can almost sing this in your head with the chords you're playing. Oh mama, I'm in fear for my life. Okay, so we've got 3 2 open, 2 3 3, and then back to 2 open. Then we go 2 3 3, and then we're going to hit an F. You can do the 3rd and 2nd string. You can add that 4th string, or you could just do the 4th and 3rd. It's really up to you. But again, when he talks about high, you'll hear that F. He's going up to an F and then back to the 3 and 2. High price on my head. And then a G. Alright, so we'll go into more of those licks as we go through this, but that is the verse melody, okay? So I highlighted that F. Again, it's how you want to play it, but I really feel it's in there. So that will repeat 4 times, so 4 measures. At the end of each measure, James plays a nice little lick. So the first lick you'll hear will be a pull off from 6 to 3 on the 2nd string. Then we go to the 3rd string with 5 bent, and then hit 5 at the top of the bend, release, and pull off to 3. And then hit 5 on the 4th string. Alright. The second lick you'll hear will be 2 pull-offs from 6 to 3 on that 2nd string. The same 5 to 3 lick we just did. And then 2 pull-offs from 5 to 3, landing on 7 on the 5th string. Third lick, just like the first one. Alright, the very last 4th lick in this verse, you'll hear 1 pull-off from 6 to 3 2nd string. Then we're going to go to the 3rd string with a full bend release pull off to 3. No hitting at the top, all right? Then 2 more pull offs from 5 to 3. And then we go to the 4th string 5 to 3 pulled off twice and ending on 5 on the 5th. So a very fluid one. All right, and that is the very first verse. Like I said, Tommy, he's singing, so he's just kind of going along with the bass and the chords and letting James play that part. And then we are in the chorus. Now, the cool thing about the chorus is it's almost exactly what we did in the intro. Only difference is in the chorus 1, we're not going to slide after our 3 into 5 up to F. We're going to come back to 3. All right, so let's play the chorus, and you can see the difference. stop, solo time. All right, so now James comes in with his very memorable solo. We'll go over that at the end because the band comes in after the first measure and starts a rhythm underneath it. Tommy goes into rhythm mode, and his rhythm's a bit different from what we've learned to this point. So I'm going to come in with the bass and the rhythm to start the solo rhythm. All right, and I'll play a measure and we'll talk about it. Alright, so it comes in with an E to F sharp, and we're just playing these double stops, and then we'll go to F sharp. I'm sorry, E, F, F sharp. The rhythm starts, it's really based right around here where we did these chorus. Alright, so what we start out with is the G on the E, referencing the G on the 5th and 4th string. And then we go to this B flat to C, and we'll come back and then hit it again with a pull off from 5. So it'll sound like this. And then I'll start it. And then we come back to that G. And then the B flat. Alright, so with the walk up one more time. Then to C. Alright, now we start it again just like we have. But we go from this G to our F back to G. The G starts again. Alright, so without that walk up, the only time we do it is in the very first measure. Alright, each measure will go through that twice. Alright, this is pretty much palm muted, so we can focus in on the solo. But that was, like I said, with the walk up and then twice through for each one measure. We will do that 3 more times, or 3 more measures. And then we go into the interlude. So when I say we go through that 4 more measures, the very 4th measure stops short of going from G back to F back to G with the double stop. All right, he will just come up, pull off to 5, and then you will hear the interlude start. The interlude starts with this. Alright, what's really nice about this interlude, okay, we've got 2 guitars going and keyboards. So what they do is a G power chord to our B flat, but we're going to add the F in the bass. And then just move that whole figure up to our C, which will give us G in the bass. Okay, so one guitar will hold that, the other guitar will do a little motif that follows the keyboards. And that's all done up here on the 2nd and 3rd string. But let's go through the chords of the interlude before we go through that minutia. All right, so we've got our G to B flat with the F in the bass, and then to the C with the G in the bass. Then we're going to go G, okay, and then B flat to C again. So that repeats. So that's the first interlude measure. the third time, like I said, we're into the second measure. Both are slightly different. The first one is G, and then we just move down to our C with the G in the bass, and move that up to a D with the A in the bass. Then we're going to go A, 6th root, power chord, to C, no G in the bass, just a full C power chord to D. And that ends the interlude. So the double stop motif will be here. We'll start out on the, I like to use my middle finger on the second string at 11 and the third string at 12, because that allows me to go back to 10 on both the third and second, to 8 on both strings, back to 10, and then back to those two. So we're going to start out with the 11, 12 to 10, 8, all right? And then we move back to 10 and 11, 12 twice. And then we go 10, 8, 10, and one more 11, 12. So we have this all together. Then we'll hear the chords, and then you do it again. So it's going to start out the similar rhythm. So we'll just be doing 7, 5, 3. All right. So we start out with 7. So it's kind of the same workup. 7 to 5 to 3, back to 5, and then 7 twice, and then 5, 3, 5, and then 7. All right, the very last time, you'll hear that 6th string 3rd fret G note, and then the a cappella part comes in. So chorus 2 will come in. We'll hear the keyboard go into a G minor. We can do that. Of course, we can't let keyboard have all the fun. We're going to just slide up to the 11th fret of the 3rd string and the 12th fret of the 4th string. All right, and then we start in with the chorus. All right, we know that part. The difference is when we're done here, we do it, we're not sliding up to F like we did in the intro. We're going back to the B flat. So the very last measure. Then we're into the outro, okay? It just kind of holds that B flat, and the outro starts. The outro is the solo rhythm. There's no walk up, but we're doing the same rhythm. A little less palm muted, but... So that's one measure, and we would do that for 4 measures. And as we keep going along, James plays another solo, and it's very similar to the opening solo, just in the licks, and it takes us out, they fade out. So the solo starts out with a beautiful little flurry of notes. Alright, I'm just going to stop there because I don't play it very well, but it's okay. I'm never been a speed player. But what he's doing, bending up the 5th fret of the 3rd string, catching the 3rd fret of the 1st string, and then pulling off from the 2nd string 6 to 3. Repeat the 1st and 2nd string. So we have this. Then we come back to the 5th fret of the 3rd string, bend, release, pull off to 3, and then another pull off from 5 to 3. Then we come to 5, and we're going to roll back and forth from the 4th to the 3rd string, 5th fret. Then 3rd fret, and then we go to the 5th fret, pull off to 3 on the 4th string, landing on 5 on the 5th string. Back and forth for the 4th and 5th. All right. 3rd fret, and then 5, 4, 3, and then slide to 1. Then we just hit the then we just hit the 6th string, whammy bar down, and then walk up 0, 1, 2 on the 6th string. Alright, that's when the band enters. So up to that point slowly, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, then we're into the second measure of the solo, and again the band comes in at this part. Tommy starts playing his rhythm. So the next part of the measure has a little palm muting and just moves up real nicely. You'll be able to recognize all of this. Alright, so what he's doing there, again, we're on that 3rd string, 5th, bend, release, pulled off to 3, landing on 5. Now, sometimes James, in Vegas, he does it with an open G note. Sometimes he does it with the G note on the 5th fret of the 4th string. Or, I like it on the 5th string. I feel like I have a little more control. But again, you know, he's just jamming live. And at that point, we come back with another bend and release and pull off from 5 to 3 on the 3rd string, and 5 to 3 pull off on the 4th string, and then we land on 5 on the 5th string and hit 3 and, then we land on 5 on the 5th string, slid to 1, and then hit the 1st fret, all right? So we have this all together to that point. 1, 2, 3, 4. When you're at that 1st fret, just move up to the 6th string at 1st fret. And then you'll hear palm muting. He's going to go 3, 1, 3, 6th string, and then 1, 3, 5 on the 5th string, and then 3, 5 on the 4. Alright, so this so far. Then we go 3 on the 3rd string, back to 5 on the 4th, and then 5 back to 5 from the 4th to the 3rd. Alright, so all together, palm muted. Then it's unmuted. We're going to hit 3 and then 3 hammer into 5. We'll hit 5, slide up to 7. We'll hit 7, slide up to 10. And then hit 7 with some vibrato. Alright, that's the second measure of the solo. Again, this is where it's very memorable, and I know James doesn't play this the same way every time, but very close. So this next part of the solo, James really kind of stays between the 8th and 6th fret positions, and it should sound like this. I'm not the best with the whammy bar, but I'll talk about what he's doing there. So after our sliding part, we move to the 8th position, and what we're going to do is hit the 10th fret of the 3rd string bent, hit 8, and then hit 10 again bent, and there's a little pause there. And then he goes 8, 10, 8, 11 to 8 on the 2nd string, and then there's a pre-bend on 10 with a release after striking it. Okay, so we have this so far. And then he goes to the 11th fret and hits that once, and then another hit with a bend, a pull off to 10, and then 8. Then we come to 10 on the 4th string, back to 8 on the 3rd. And then we're going to do 2 pull-offs from 10 to 8 on that 4th string. Landing on 10 on the 5th, back to 10 on the 4th, to 10 on the 5th, 8 on the 4th. 10 pulled off to 8 on the 5th string, landing on 10 on the 6th. 10, 10 from the 5th to the 6th. 8 to 10, 8. From 5 to 6th string. So we have this so far. I know it's a lot of notes, but again, it's in my notes, and it will make much more sense for you. So from the very beginning, 1, 2, 3, 4. At that point, we move to the 6th position. We're going to hit 6, 8, 6. That's on the 6th string. Back to 8, but then a bend and release. And then we hit open. Whammy dive, and then we slide into 3, 6th string. That's all on the 6th string. We jump to the 4th string, 3 hammered into 5, and then hit the 3rd fret of the 3rd string, and little dive there. And that is basically the 3rd measure, but it's just a bit long to fit into one measure. But again, that's kind of where things start changing again. It's difficult because there's not a set pattern to it. James is just jamming back and forth from this 15th to 18th position, and then eventually 17 on the 3rd string. But this G minor pentatonic, okay? So, slowing it down with riff station, this is what I come up with. So we're going to slide from the 2nd string, 3rd fret up to 15. Then we come to 15 on the 1st, back to 15 on the 2nd. Then we bend up 18 on the 2nd and catch 15 on the 1st, back to 15 on the 2nd. Then we pull off from 18 to 15. On the 1st string, catching 15 on the 2nd, 15 on the 1st, 15 on the 2nd. And then a pull off 18 to 15 again on the 1st string. 15 on the 2nd, then 18 bent on the 2nd. And then catch 15 on the 1st and 18 pulled off to 15. 15 on the 2nd, 15 on the 1st, and then 18 to 15 pulled off, ending the measure. Okay, so a lot of numbers, right? Again, I've written it out. It's a pattern. If you want to study, you can. It's just one of those things. Okay, so that's the next measure. And then he comes in with 17 bent on the 3rd string to 15, 15 on the 2nd and 1st. Back to 15 on the 2nd. And then 18 bent, catching 15, that's on the 2nd, and catching 15 on the 1st. 18 pulled off to 15 on the first, and then 15 second, 15 first. So we have this so far. And we're going to catch third string, 17 bent again to 15, and then 18 pulled off to 15. Back to 15 on the first string, and then 18 bent on the second. And then we come back to the first string, 15, and then 18 pulled off to 15. Second string, 15, first string, 15, and then second string, 18 to 15 to end. All right, so that's the next measure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the next measure, we come up to this third string, bending 17, and then 17 to 15 unbent. Then we come to fourth string, 17 pulled off to 15, and then 17 to 15. Fifth string will hit 17 twice, go to 16, 15, and then 13. All right, so you can see a little descending pattern now. And then what we do is come back to 15 with a bend, and then release, and then we hit 13. Then 15 pulled off to 13. 15 on the sixth string to 15 on the fifth, back to 15 on the sixth, and then 13 on the fifth. And end this measure with 15 pulled off to 13. All right, so this measure from that 17, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, the next lick, well, we're coming up to the last two measures of the song. This next lick is a nice little walk up to lead us to the last ending. After that pull off to 13, we're going to start a little run up, get us to the 18th position. All right, so what we're doing there, we're going to, again, we've left off to 13, we'll come back to the sixth string, 15, and then 5th fret. Okay, so we left off from 15 pulled off to 13 in that measure. Then we're going to start from the sixth string, 15, to the fifth string, 13, 15, slid up to 17. Then we go to the fourth string, 15, 17, come down to 17 on the third, back to 17 on the fourth. Then 15, 17 on the third with a bend and a little vibrato and release. Then we take that up to 19 and then catch 18 to 20 on the second string. All right, so we have this 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now the last measure, we hit 18 to 20 twice, I'm sorry, 3 times, back to 18 on the first string. Then we're going to hit 20 with a bend, and then 18. Then we come to 20 on the second string, and then hit that twice to 18. All right, up to that point. Then we're going to come to 20 on the first string with 3 bends, and then 20 bent and release and pulled off to 18, and then 20, 18 twice, and then 20 bent and released, and then 2 more bends. All right, so that last measure, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's that solo. So again, you know, a lot of just jamming and playing within the scales there, the G minor, and so forth. You know, you can really improvise, especially the second solo. It kind of follows the first. You don't have that, you know, guitar-specific break, but the licks and positions kind of follow the main solos. So I hope that really helps everybody. Enjoy.